What's good, Skins fans? Had a great time last night on the live with Skins fan all day, Louis T and Protect man. Make sure you go to Skins fan all day's channel and check out the stream, man. I had a blast, man. We had a lot of fun last night on the stream, with a lot of Redskins talk. But today, of course, what you see in the title, who should stay, who should go, man. There's a lot of people that need to go, man. There's a lot of people that got to get up out of here, man. Their time is done in DC. Time has ran out for a couple people, for a good amount of guys here. And there's some big decisions we got to make. There's some guys that I do want to keep, and it's some tough decisions we got to make, man. News just came out today also that Eric Schaefer is parting ways now instead of in May, and Doug Williams was promoted or something. I forgot what kind of role he got. I think it's like over player development. He's senior vice president over player development. So Doug Williams is one of the few people that will be staying in the front office. They have not made a decision on Kyle Smith yet. I guess he's going to be somewhat of the active or interim GM, or really Ron Rivera is the GM, obviously, because all the Panthers guys are coming in house, and they're hiring Rob Rogers, who's going to be replacing Eric Schaefer with the numbers guy. So our numbers guy will be Rob Rogers. I think his name is Rob Rogers for that was with the Panthers previously. So let's get started here. Of course, everybody remembers the J.P. Finley report coming out saying that we could have $90 million in cap space, possibly. We're starting out right now. He said we have $48 million in salary cap space right now, starting the offseason, and potentially if we let these guys go. And then we'll go over the free agents, of course. Some guys I'm going to name are not free agents. There's just guys that we can just get up out of here right now. Of course, we'll start with Josh Norman. I would love to see him walk. I put him in the trash can a couple times this season. Josh Norman, if we cut him today or whenever we can cut him in February or March, whenever before free agency starts, we would save $12.5 million and $3 million. It would be a $3 million cap hit. So that would be awesome, cutting Josh Norman. That would be awesome. But I'll talk briefly about Josh Norman. Josh Norman's first 2 years were pretty decent. They were really good. He was really solid for us. He would force fumbles, punch the ball out, just like Peanut Tillman. We talked about that a lot of times. He had more forced fumbles than picks. And corners, really good corners, they don't get a lot of picks. Like you look at Darrell Reeves did get a lot of picks. But you look at some corners and you look at their numbers, and not all of them have 6 or 5. If you have 6 picks, that's a lot of picks. 5 picks is a lot of picks. 4 picks is a lot of picks. So it's harder for some guys to get interceptions because when you're really, really good, they don't throw the football your way. So a lot of people want Byron Jones, and he only had 1 interception this whole season. Same with James Bradbury. Only like 1 or 2 picks. So he didn't really have a lot of interceptions. So that was a big knock on Josh Norman while he was here in D.C. The big contract and all that, jumping over bulls and whatnot. He was a big name. He was a big name free agent that Dan Snyder brought in the black SUV. He got off the plane and got in the black SUV, and Dan Snyder did not want to let him leave. So Josh Norman's a good guy off the field, great guy off the field. Does a lot of things in the community, things like that. But his time is up in DC, man. He got burnt toast. He was burnt toast this whole season. A lot of people are thinking that Ron Rivera might want to keep Josh Norman here because he was in Carolina while Ron Rivera was there. He played. That was when he was an All-Pro, when Ron Rivera was coaching him in that 4-3 defense. And a lot of people say Josh Norman is more of a zone corner. And the pass rush was really good in Carolina, so that really helped him. Our pass rush was never really elite, kind of like how it was in Carolina. Now it can be elite this upcoming season with Chase Young, Ryan Kerrigan, and Montez Sweat if we do draft Chase Young, of course, and Montez Sweat will be here. And if we do keep Ryan Kerrigan. But Josh Norman's 2 years were decent. They were not. He never lived up to the hype or to the contract. But his first 2 years here were pretty decent. He was just slow and just got burned a couple times. He had a couple good games. I think the Packers game was probably his best game, where he forced a fumble in the clutch and getting in Odell's head, where Odell hit the kicking net and started crying. I do remember that game. Another name here is Paul Richardson, the wide receiver, the speedster. He was supposed to be a speedster for us. The best thing to do is the post-June 1st cuts. So post-June 1 cuts, we would have to wait until June. I think there's something where you can cut him in May, and it might designate as a June 1st cut. If we do cut Paul Richardson, it will be $6.5 million saved and a $2 million cap hit if we do cut Paul Richardson. Now, Paul Richardson has been a big disappointment for this team. Definitely. I kind of had some high hopes for Paul Richardson. I thought he was a really good receiver. I was one of the guys that stuck up for him because when he was with Alex Smith, he played pretty well. He had a nice catch against the Packers. He had a touchdown catch against the Panthers. He had a nice catch against the Saints. He showed flashes here and there. He showed the speed that he had. Like I said, he had that nice deep catch against the Packers from Alex Smith, and he showed potential. If he could just stay healthy in that year with Alex Smith, then maybe I think that would have been his best opportunity in that year. He never really got to click with Case Keenum, and he never really got to click with Dwayne Haskins either. So quarterback play has not really helped Paul Richardson either. But it's time to move on. It's time to get younger and clear up some cap space. We can definitely draft a receiver. We have Terry McLaurin, we have Steven Sims, and we have Calvin Harmon. So the younger guys played a lot better than some of the veterans. And Trey Quinn also, he's under contract. But his contract is like below $1 million, I think. So if we cut him or keep him, really doesn't make that much of a difference. I guess if we could keep Trey Quinn just for depth. But we'll see what other receivers we bring in. There's another guy named Emmanuel Hall who we did bring in. I think he's on a future reserve contract. He's really good in college. Runs a 4.3 40. He's like 6'3", 6'2", or something like that out of Missouri. I want to see him get an opportunity. Of course, we want to see Cam Timms get an opportunity at receiver as well. Next person up is Jordan Reed. I think everybody's in agreement that we need to let Jordan Reed go. Either release him or JP Finley says reach a settlement. $8.5 million saved and a $1.8 million cap hit if we release Jordan Reed or reach a settlement if he retires or something like that. I want to say 7 or 8 concussions that are known, and who knows, he could have had a concussion in high school as well. So Jordan Reed, he's had a lot of concussions. He's been really, really good. I think he made the Pro Bowl one time. Was really, really good with Kirk Cousins. And just never really got to click with Alex Smith. And then next thing you know, he gets injured in that Falcons preseason game where Jay Gruden just played him in that game. I don't know why he played. But the guy with the dirty head, I forgot his name. I think it's like Keanu Neal or something like that, spearheaded Jordan Reed. And that was the concussion sealing the deal. The concussion sealing the deal. He didn't even play the whole season. Was on IR. So it's time to move on from Jordan Reed. It's time to move on from the injury-prone guys. It's just time to move on from that. I think that was part of that's what really hurt our previous coach as well. A lot of guys just got injured. It's time to move on from Jordan Reed. Ryan Kerrigan is the next person. Now, a lot of people are very, very sensitive to Ryan Kerrigan. He's very near and dear to a lot of people's hearts. A lot of people get upset if I say I want to trade Ryan Kerrigan now, or even JP Finley say trade or cut Ryan Kerrigan. $11.7 million will be saved and a $0 cap hit if you trade or cut Ryan Kerrigan. Now, Ryan Kerrigan has been awesome. He's been one of the few players that can actually stay healthy. Last season, he had I forgot what injury he had. I want to say it was an ankle injury or something like that, a groin or something like that. And then he was placed on IR for the first time in his career, season-ending IR. Now, Ryan Kerrigan is awesome. I think he can actually improve in this defense as well, playing in the 4-3. You can just have a rotation of Montez Sweat, a rotation of Chase Young, Ryan Anderson rushing the passer, Ryan Kerrigan rushing the passer, even Casanova McKenzie, even Jordan Belfort. A lot of people forget about Jordan Belfort, the 7th-round pick out of Oklahoma State. I want to see Jordan Belfort get some playing time as well. Trent Williams is next on the list. What I would do, of course, for these guys, I would cut Josh Norman, cut Paul Richardson. Jordan Reed retired. Those are easy ones. I think everybody agrees on all those moves right there. Ryan Kerrigan is the toss-up. If it were up to me, I'd probably keep Ryan Kerrigan. I wouldn't be mad if we traded Ryan Kerrigan for like a 3rd-round pick or 2nd-round pick. Really would prefer a 2nd-round pick. We're not going to get a 1st-round pick for Ryan Kerrigan. That's just not happening. But I think we could at least get a 3rd-round pick at the very least for Ryan Kerrigan. But like I said, I'd rather just keep him. Possibly get a compensatory pick the following year for Ryan Kerrigan leaving. Next up is Trent Williams. If you trade Trent Williams or cut him $12.75 million and saving a $2 million cap hit, there's a lot of mixed people on this one too. I'm not going to say it's 100% everybody wants to keep Trent Williams. There are some people who were in the stream last night saying that they want to trade Trent Williams. There's a lot of people who want to trade him and get rid of him and get a 2nd-round pick or a player in return. In my opinion, I would like to keep Trent Williams because if you're going to have Dwayne Haskins as a quarterback who's not the most mobile guy or quarterback in the world, you're going to need your left tackle. Anybody needs their left tackle healthy and playing well, or an elite or all-pro, Pro Bowler type left tackle. And we have that in the building, or not in the building, but we have that in Trent Williams, who is under contract right now. So we all know what happened, the story and the health concerns of Bruce Allen. Bruce Allen's fired. Larry Hess is fired. So we made the moves to keep Trent Williams. Ron Rivera really, really wants Trent Williams to come back. So honestly, I would keep Trent Williams, and I guess we would pay that money. He does want a guaranteed contract. He said Adrian Peterson told us, or told the media, that Trent Williams said, if you take care of me and pay me, then he will come back. So looks like we got to pay Trent Williams. I'll just pay him the guaranteed money. It's all good. Let's see here. Next is, let's see here. So we went over the guys that we should really just cut to get some cap space. So for me, I kept Trent Williams and I kept Ryan Kerrigan. So The money we would make saved is Josh Norman $12.5 million, Paul Richardson $6.5 million, and let's see here, Jordan Reed with $8.5 million. So that equals out to $27.5 million being saved in cap space. So JP said we have 48 available. So 48 plus 27.5 million. So we'll do that. So I'm terrible at math. I really am. I'm not good at it at all. So $75 million in cap space. That's pretty darn good. That's really darn good. And we have 19 free agents. So we'll go down the list right here. Of course, the top of the list is Brandon Scherff. He's been really good for us. He really has. He had an underwhelming season. My flag just fell. Everything is just malfunctioning right now, But he had a underwhelming season this season. And Brandon Scherff, I would keep Brandon Scherff. He's been an All-Pro. Very rarely do Redskins have All-Pros, but he's been a Pro Bowler as well. He was our fifth pick of the draft or third pick of the draft, something like that. I would keep Brandon Scherff. A lot of people want to move on and let Wes Martin take that place. But honestly, I would keep Brandon Scherff. Brandon Scherff has been really, really good for us for the most part. I don't want to see him leave. I don't want to see another Jamison Crowder where he goes to the Jets and gets better. I don't want to see a Preston Smith leave and get better. I don't want to see who else left us. Preston Smith, Jamison Crowder. Who else? Lorenzo Alexander, Trent Murphy. I'm just tired of seeing former Redskins leave and get better, or go to teams and win championships, or go deep in the playoffs like Kendall Fuller and freaking Brashad Breeland, guys like that, Guys always leave and get better when they leave the Redskins. Next on the list is Chris Thompson. This is another guy who's near and dear to our hearts here. I really do like Chris Thompson. But when you look at the trajectory of the running backs and his injury history, he's almost as injured as much as Jordan Reed. He really is. Chris Thompson is really, really good. He's a great third down running back. I want to say that 2016 season or 2017 season, he was our best offensive player by far. Back when we had terrible Josh Doxson and terrible, who else was Ryan Grant was our wide receiver, and I think Mo Harris was the third receiver. We had 0 receivers on that team. Terrell Pryor was awful. Chris Thompson was like a wide receiver out there. Seriously, he really was, and he was a home run hitter for the Washington Redskins. But personally, I would let Chris Thompson walk. You have Adrian Peterson coming back. You have Darius Geis if he can ever stay healthy, and you have Bryce Love. If he can ever stay healthy. And then you have Wendell Smallwood. I wouldn't have him come back. He's a free agent, so I would not keep Wendell Smallwood. There's a guy named Josh Ferguson who popped. He looked good against the Eagles game. He had a very nice run. A lot of energy, very good acceleration as well. So I would love to see Josh Ferguson back in the burgundy and gold. Next up is Vernon Davis, the tight end. Once again, another guy that people love who went to the University of Maryland. Local guy, Mr. Maryland, Vernon Davis. And he's not always injury prone. This is his first season where he had the concussion and was on IR. We put him on season-ending IR. Vernon Davis is pretty good. He's still a speedster. He's still super, super fast. But I think it's time to move on from Vernon Davis as well. I want to start this youth movement here and get the youth movement going with the young guys. Next up is Casey Keenum. Casey Keenum only had really 1 or 2 good games. He had a good game against the Eagles, the first game of the season, and then the Giants game, the last game of the season, he had a pretty good game where he came in after Dwayne got injured. So Case Keenum, man, I don't know if I want to keep him, but we do need a backup quarterback. I'd rather just draft a quarterback, maybe in like the 6th round or something like that. I'd rather do that. But if they do bring back Case Keenum, I would not be mad. He's making $3.5 million on his current salary. Chris Thompson, we'll go over Chris Thompson. Vernon Davis is he was making $4.7 million in his salary. Chris Thompson was making $2.7 million. Brandon Scherff was making $13 million per year. So he will be making a lot of money. Next is Eric Flowers. Honestly, I would honestly, I might have to keep Case Keenum. I really might have to. If Dwayne gets injured, I might have to keep Case Keenum on a veteran minimum deal. He's gonna look for a little bit more money, but $3.5 million is really not that bad for Case Keenum. Maybe we try to negotiate and make it $3 million, but for a backup quarterback, that's really not that bad. Eric Flowers, who's been a surprise of the season, of course, I'm keeping Eric Flowers. Of course, I'm keeping Eric, the man who we used to call the human turntable, and it's so much better now. Just had to drink some quality secret stuff here. Eric Flowers, $2 million salary right now, but he's gonna want more money than that. I'm speculating maybe $5 million, $6 million. I don't know how much he's really gonna want from the Redskins, but he's probably gonna want some money, man. There's gonna be some teams looking for him because he played really, really good at left guard. Or he played really, really, really well. He played better than Brandon Scherff at times. So I would love for our offensive line to be Trent Williams coming back, Eric Flowers on the left side. That would be a tough, nasty, dynamic duo. Center would be Chase Rouillet. Right guard would be Brandon Scherff. And then Morgan Moses, I don't know if he's going to be back. I don't know what we're going to do with that position. He was a little underwhelming this season. Next is Colt McCoy. I will move on from Colt McCoy. We'll make that quick $3 million base salary for Colt McCoy this season. I would let Colt McCoy go. Too many injuries, so injury prone. Donald Penn, $1 million per year. Donald Penn, I would love to bring him back. I would have him as a backup swing tackle. So I would love to bring Donald Penn back, especially if Trent Williams gets injured. We know how often he gets injured. Next is DRC, Dominic Rogers-Cromartie. I would let him go. Make that one quick. He was injured, just injury prone. Very old now. I was comparing him to Orlando Scandrick. That's how I felt about Dominic Rogers-Cromartie. Next is Tony Bergstrom. I would let him go. That was the guy who was laughing or smirking while Dwayne was saying, "What can I do to help you?" which was a weird approach of leadership. But Tony Bergstrom just looked like he was not locked into that conversation at all. That was when Dwayne was yelling, asking his offensive line during the Jets game, "What can I do to help you?" And Bergstrom looked like he was just laughing and not taking Dwayne seriously at all. John Bostich is next. John Bostic, making $805,000 per year. Cheap deal, man. Cheap deal. I honestly, I wouldn't mind keeping John Bostic, especially if Reuben Foster gets hurt again. I know John Bostic likes. I know he prefers a 3-4 defense, but honestly, I would like to bring back John Bostic. I wouldn't mind that. Next is Aaron Colvin, base salary of $757,000 per year. Like it's $750,647 per year. Aaron Colvin, I guess for depth, I wouldn't mind bringing him back. Mike Burton, the fullback, I would love to bring back Mike Burton, $520,882 per season. I would bring back Mike Burton, the fullback. Next is Nate Orchard, $236,765 per year. I would bring back Nate Orchard as well. I would definitely re-sign him. Wendell Smallwood is next with $720,000 per year. I would not bring back Wendell Smallwood. Next is Trayvon Hester, $645,000 per year. I wouldn't mind him for depth. Say if Deron Payne gets injured or somebody like that, wouldn't mind bringing him back. Tight end Jerome Cunningham, we can put him on the practice squad. Caleb Brantley, defensive lineman, we can keep him. Not really affecting the cap. Safety Kenny Ladley, these are no-name guys. $37,941 per year. Practice squad. Quarterback Josh Woodrum, $378,000 per year. Another practice squad guy. So those are the guys who I would keep and let go. Like I said, Josh Norman got to go. Paul Richardson got to go. Jordan Reed got to go. Vernon Davis got to go. Chris Thompson got to go. Keep Ryan Kerrigan. Keep Trent Williams. Keep Brandon Scherff. Keep Eric Flowers. Keep the offensive line intact. So those are the main guys I would definitely keep. Case Keenum, I might keep him as well. Colt McCoy definitely got to go. So let me know what you guys think, man. A lot of offseason predictions, a lot of offseason moves to be made, guys. So let me know what you guys think, man. A lot of moves. It's gonna be a crazy offseason. I'm telling you, it's gonna be a crazy offseason, man. I plan on making videos for free agency targets next. I probably will be making a tight end free agent targets videos next, or a wide receiver or something like that. So those are the things that we need. Offensive linemen as well, cornerbacks, and maybe even a safety. So stay tuned. All right, y'all. Make sure if you have not subbed to the channel, make sure you sub to the channel, like, comment. Definitely, man. Hail to them Skins. All right, y'all. Peace.